Hello everyone, welcome to Res Snapper. My name's MJ and this is Snap or Pass, the series where we look at the brand new cards coming to Marvel Snap each week. And this week we've had a surprise injection of 3 new cards straight to Series 4. This is Topaz. She's one of them anyway. She's a 3/4. After you play a card here, move it to the middle location. In this video, we're going to be talking about all the going once, going twice, sold to the king in the fongda. Yeah, that was all bizarre, so I'm really sorry about that. In this video, we're going to be talking about Spotlight. No, we're not. I'm on absolute autopilot, helium sucking of fentanyl air. Right in the guts of the situation. In this video, we're going to be discussing synergies, counters. I don't know why I'm pointing. There's nothing here yet, but you can skip to the now there is. You can skip to the section you want using the chapters below. Right, Topaz. Let's get into the mucks of this situation. This video is dog shit already, so if you could like it so that it counterbalances all of the people who've already turned off, that would really help out me and the channel. You are able to obtain Topaz by purchasing her using your collector tokens priced at 3,000 of them. Or you can get her via seasonal Series 4 snap packs, and those seasonal Series 4 snap packs will also, or could also contain Uncle Ben, Gorgon, Laufey for about another week, and then the first Ghost Rider, Toxie Doxie, Batroc the Leaper, and Fanfei. Of course, if you already own these cards, then you're guaranteed to get a smaller pool, or whoever you need. You know, if you got all of them apart from these 3 new cards that just got released today, you got a 1 in 3 chance of getting the Topaz if you want her. So you have to ask yourself, are you happy with any of these new cards, or do you specifically only want Topaz? In which case, you should probably buy her with tokens. There are, of course, additional rewards if you buy the seasonal Series 4 snap packs. In fact, you can check out another video I've made about the drop rates and the existence of demigod packs in seasonal Series 4 snap packs as well. Actually, I didn't cover seasonal Series 4s. I should really do that at some point, but it's just, guys, I'm uploading like bloody near enough 10 videos this week. Give me a freaking break. Right, let's talk. Sorry, I'm not getting at you. It's the system, okay? Right, let's talk about the mechanics for Topaz. I think she's going to fit into move decks, pretty obviously, silky smooth decks, and in fact I think that's almost one of the most exciting places for her. Angela, Hope, these are all kind of similar cards, aren't they, where you play on top of them. In fact, we call those types of decks Inda Club around these parts. We call it Inda Club because English Club you mingle rhymes with Pringle, and Pringle comes in a stack, and that's what you do with these decks, isn't it? You stack cards in the same location. I think also, is it possible that she might work reasonably well with Phoenix Force? If you can kind of ramp out your things, or maybe you play your Human Torch on 1, you destroy it on 2, and then you bring it back on turn 4 after having played Topaz. Sorry, that was like really, I was trying to subtly move a piece of food that I've got in my mouth. That's disgusting, I'm sorry. Like, I think it's just a bit of cucumber. That's even worse. That doesn't make it better. I should, hang on. I'm literally blushing because that's so disgusting. To have random food. Is it embarrassing to have random food in your mouth? Then we need to talk about this new archetype. Batroc the Leaper, Hydra Stomper, Topaz. All of these cards generate movement so easily. We look at existing cards in the game like Silk and Hercules, Madam Web, Sam Wilson. These other cards which generate movement so easily. Is this a new archetype that I'm calling auto move? Scalers and automatic movement, I think it could be a thing. And is there an opportunity for Topaz in Silver Surfer? I do wonder, because, you know, if you have got the Topaz, it makes something like a Vulture a bit more of an interesting prospect, and it makes Brood something that no longer, you know, pretty much wins one lane and it spreads it out a bit more evenly. It's possible, guys. It's possible. Anyway, let's talk about the other stuff to do with her. It's an automatic ability, and it's a reliable ability. That almost sounded like liability. Liable. Libel. It's libelous, I say. No, get back on track. which is an incredible engine piece for move. If we think about those other engine pieces like Madam Web, which we've spoke about, and the ability to automatically do something or to do something multiple times, that is a really fantastic thing. Yes, she's reliable, but she's a little bit inflexible and may often be bad to get from the likes of Shield and Cersei, because if you think about it, guys, once you play Topaz down, you can't actually get more cards into that location until you've filled the middle location, which filling is often a bad thing. Now, in a move deck specifically, you obviously have the ability to move cards into Topaz's location. But it's just something worth bearing in mind for decks that aren't move decks, like the Silky Smooth stuff. So you do need to balance it, right? And you have to have her down before you play cards, so it's a later game play. If you play something like... I'm sorry, I just malfunctioned. You know what I'm trying to say, right? But like any card that you play down before Topaz, you're not getting that automatic movement. Oh my god, my stomach is now rumbling. Despite having half my lunch in my mouth, my stomach is rumbling. Pros. She automatically triggers and multiple times, so it's great in many move archetypes. Yeah, I think this is going to work nicely in just traditional move, in this auto move style of deck that we're talking about, in Silky Smooth, which is kind of move. The base stats are fine for an ability which triggers multiple times. Look at Madam Web. Madam Web, you can move a card every turn. She's a 2-1. Terrible stats. Topaz, 3-4. Basically fine. Not below grade. Below grade would be like a 3-2, wouldn't it? So, yeah, you're kind of fine with that. And there were a few... Ooh, actually had to delete that bit. Fine, just because I wasn't intending to be offensive, but it could have been conceived as being offensive. So yeah, in fact, I didn't need to apologise for being offensive because I cut it out anyway. I literally couldn't have put that bit in. Anyway, she has fewer counters, and now I'm laughing about the offence that I could have caused had I not have removed it. Anyway, fine. Good. I was so reasonably on track in the Batroc video, and this one's just gone to shit. She has fewer counters, and she is harder to counter than a card with lower power or an ongoing card. If you think about Madam Web is easy to disrupt via Rogue, Enchantress, etc. Other cards with lower power are easy to disrupt with Red Guardian. Topaz is a little bit more difficult to disrupt. Her cons though, her ability can only be utilised if you play her on the left or right locations. So you can't move stuff from the middle location. In fact, if you want to play Topaz in the middle, you can just play cards on top of her. If you want Topaz, it's the rhyme, isn't it? You always have to remember. If you want your cards that you play on top of Topaz to be sticky, then you need to play her in the midi location. Honestly, between this and the cucumber, these videos are supposed to be shorter because I'm not doing locations or previous week's cards in it. Anyway, she is predictable, right? Your opponent will know where you're playing and where your cards will end up being. Now, they won't know exactly where they might end up because you might do like a Doctor Strange or you might pull those cards away from the middle location, but they will know or have a better idea of how to disrupt you, okay? And after you play her, if you need power at her location, you need to move cards there or fill up the middle location. I sort of said that earlier, but it is kind of a con that if you want to win the location that she's at, you do actually need to put extra legwork into doing so. Right, let's talk about counters. Kingpin. This is a really interesting card for Kingpin. If move becomes really popular, which I think it might, considering they're getting 4 cards for their archetype today, or as at day of recording, are people just going to start teching Kingpin into their decks? You know, especially with Topaz being a 3-cost card, it means you can get that Kingpin in early and very much scupper those Topazes. Every single time that card moves into the Kingpin location, boom, they're getting knocked for 2 power, right? Red Guardian can target Topaz. I think it'll be a little bit trickier with her having 4 power. I'm not sure she's going to be the lowest power card at the location, although sometimes she might be the only card at that location. And Magneto can straight up move Topaz herself. So if you are planning things on the final turn and your opponent has priority, they might Magneto, pulling all of those, pulling the Topaz away rather, and just leaving you like a sitting duck. However, some interesting synergies. I think Human Torch and just any other move scaler is going to feel really nice. Getting that automatic hit on Vulture, that's going to feel so good. The Dagger, the same thing. Human Torch, really nice, especially the cheaper cards. Think about the cheaper cards that you might want to play with Topaz. Or the more expensive ones like Spider-Man 2099. Oh, that's spicy. Craven. If the inverse is Kingpin, your opponent playing Kingpin at the middle location, then you're going to love the Craven in the middle location, because never before has Craven felt such consistency, right? That's really awesome. And then Angela, and I think I said earlier, like the Hope Summers too. I think these silky smooth cards, you're going to feel really nice about coupling them with Topaz. Although in the Hope situation, you actually need to get Hope down first. Otherwise, when you play if you play Topaz first, you play Hope down, Hope's going to move to the middle location. And that's not what you want. Right, I've only got one deck for you this week. Because of this injection of 3 cards, we got this information as content creators. Sorry, again, I malfunctioned there. I need to pause. As content creators, we did get a heads up on this information, but we did get it quite late. So I've only just found out about it. So it's been a bit of a mad rush to get this video to you. Also, guys, I've got a full-time job. And also, in the last 72 hours, have had immeasurable backache. So trying to balance all of these things in between breaks, lunch breaks, and doing after work and before work has been pretty challenging. So please like this video to show your appreciation, subscribe and turn on notifications. Anyway, it means that I've had to slightly trim the Snapple Pass video. I'm doing a terrible job with this one though. This has been about 4 hours I've been recording this video for. Yeah, it's meant that I'm only bringing you one deck, I'm afraid. And I decided to do a silky, smooth style deck, aka Into Club. We run these parts, we call it Into Club, because Into Club, you mingle as a around these parts we call it Into Club. Around these parts we call it Into Club. We call it Into Club because Into Club you mingle runs Pringle, and Pringle comes with a stack, and that's what you do with the cards in the second you play. That's gonna have to be good enough for now. I said it earlier. I got a good clean version earlier. Anyway, in this deck, so you've got your Angela, your Hope, and your Topaz, your emblems of this, your new emblems of the silky smooth style of deck. I guess Elsa is kind of one of those as well. In fact, Elsa, Hope Summers. Oh my God, Topaz is ruining it. I've just realised that Topaz is ruining it. They're all redheads, aren't they? All of our silky smooth girls, Angela, Elsa, Hope, the stacker cards, they've all got ginger hair. Topaz, you've ruined it. Although she does have a nice big rod, and I think I want her to stick that rod into my opponent's win rate negatively, pushing the opponent's win rate down. Definitely not in my sorry, that is so funny, but I really do have to bleep it because that is just super inappropriate. So we've got our cards. We want to play cards on top of the Topaz, the Hope, the Angela. We've got Elsa because we want to ideally fill a location. However, I thought we also want kind of a balance between cards that scale and just general cards that we can move out as well. Like if we don't pull the Topaz, we're going to struggle a little bit to get cards out of here. So that's why I've got the Ghost Spider. That's why I've also got the Hawkeye Kate Bishop in here as well, as in the case that we don't pull that Topaz, we can yank stuff out hopefully with that move card. If you don't get the Topaz and you don't get Kate and you don't get Ghost Spider, you're literally sitting ducks. So that's why Infinity Ultron is in here, for a little bit of extra flexibility and options that those stones are going to give you. Magneto also there for not only something that you can ramp into with the Hope Summers, but also gives you some extra disruption, which might be important if you don't pull those other cards which help you do the scaling stuff like the Vulture from the Topaz and the Human Torch, etc. And just Craven as well. Hopefully you're doing a lot of moving around in this deck even if you don't pull everything. Yada yada yada. Fine. Good. So star ratings. Overall, I think she's a 4-star card. I think she's a very good engine. Any card that can do multiple things themselves, I think, is worthwhile. I think that aspect of her will be pretty fun, so I've given her 4 stars for that. I think for the archetype, I think she does fit into auto move, and just the fact that she fits into many archetypes as an important piece, I think is important, so 4 stars there as well. And from a competitive standpoint, I've actually only gone 3.5, just because I think any hard inherently which you can basically only play at 2 locations is difficult. You think about Giganto, right? You can only play that at 1 location, and that's actually a terrible card. So it has to come down a little bit from that perspective. And just, I guess the predictability might be a difficult one as well. However, I do still think she's a snap. I do think you should get the card. I personally think I'm going to roll seasonal Series 4 snap packs to get her, and I'm looking forward to doing so. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. What are you going to do? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.